Ooh-wee, okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I am Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode's a post-fight show. You get a doubleheader in one episode, two in one. Two for the price of one in this episode. Today's episode's a post-fight for Bisping versus Leites, and a pre-fight for UFC on Fox, Dillashaw versus Barao 2. So, do just a quick rundown of what happened at Bisping versus Leites UFC Fight Night. Yeah, so we had Stevie Ray beat Leandro Mafra by TKO punches round 1. Then in the welterweight division we had Leon Edwards take on Pavel Pavlak, and Leon Edwards did a good job controlling the pace of the fight and using his stand-up and his good striking skills to get a unanimous decision win over Pavel. Yeah, then we had a women's strawweight bout with Joanna Calderwood versus Courtney Casey. And Joanna Calderwood, she did her thing. She mixed things up in that fight and got a unanimous decision win, 30-27 across the board. 129-28 on one of the judges, but yeah, regardless, unanimous decision win for Joanne in Scotland, in her home country. Then we had in the co-main event a lightweight clash with Evan Dunham versus Ross Pearson, and Evan Dunham uses wrestling to win this fight against Ross Pearson to win unanimous decision. And then in the main event we had Michael Bisping versus Tally's Ladies in the middleweight division, 5-rounder, and it did go all 5 rounds. Bisping narrowly won by a split decision against Tally's Ladies. Tally's Ladies almost knocked out Michael Bisping in the second round and a couple other moments in the fight, but Bisping was able to hang in there, control the pace, find his reach, avoid getting up against the cage too much, kept circling out, and squeaked out that big victory against then top 10 ranked middleweight in the UFC against Tally's Ladies. And Michael Bisping's back on his way up the rankings in the top 10. So good job, Michael Bisping, on getting that split decision win over Tally's Ladies. And now on to the pre-fight show for UFC on Fox, Dillashaw versus Barao 2, the rematch we've all been waiting for a long time. Okay, I'll save the title match for last, so I'll go down my predictions for this fight card. In the lightweight division to kick off the main card, we have Joe Lauzon versus Takanori Gomi. And I am picking Joe Lauzon by submission round 2. Actually, you know what? Round 1. Yeah, round 1. I think he gets aggressive on Gomi, and late in round 1, no later than early round 2, gets a submission win. Yeah, that's Joe Lauzon's go-to stuff, and Gomi's submittable, but he is tough to submit. But if anyone can submit Gomi, it's Joe Lauzon. So I got Joe Lauzon by submission round 1 to kick off this explosive main card, star-studded card. Then, also in the lightweight division, we have Edson Barboza versus Paul Felder. I went back and forth on this one. I wasn't sure, because you got Paul Felder, he's a star in the making, versus Edson Barboza, who's already a star. I mean, Paul Felder, he's going to continue to do big things in the UFC, win or lose this match. I mean, and I'm sure he will lose gracefully if he does lose. Yeah, Edson Barboza is a tough guy, and both these guys have great striking. But I think Edson Barboza can get it done. Round 2, knockout, that's who I have in this fight. Edson Barboza, second round, KO or TKO. Yeah, then on to the co-main event. Another hard one to pick. In the women's bantamweight division, we had Jessica Ai versus Miesha Tate. It's hard to go against a former Strikeforce champion in the UFC, fighting in the UFC now. Jessica Ai, though, she made a good point in interviews saying that her takedown defense is top notch and she can handle herself popping back up if getting taken down. And I think that Jessica Ai may have the it factor to beat Miesha Tate. Yeah, it was a tough fight for me to choose, but I'm going to say 51% Jessica Ai gets it done. That's who I'm picking. I think she'll most likely win by unanimous decision, but she could get a third round knockout. I think this could turn into shades of Katzengano versus Miesha Tate, where Katzengano was pushing the pace and really aggressive with the strikes and just wearing out Miesha Tate round by round. I think Katzengano created the formula on how you beat Miesha Tate, and if you can copy that formula, you can beat Miesha Tate. But the problem is there's very few fighters that can copy that formula. I think Jessica Ai is one of them. So with that said, I think Jessica Ai wins by decision most likely, if not third round KO/TKO. But 49% chance Miesha Tate wins this by probably unanimous decision. But yeah, my pick is Jessica Ai by decision. Yeah, then in the main event we have TJ Dillashaw versus Renan Barao Part 2. Now, for the longest time I was talking about how Renan Barao is the greatest pound for pound fighter, and then he got destroyed by TJ Dillashaw. I still think he's a great fighter, but obviously not being champion is kind of hard to warrant being, me calling someone #1 pound for pound fighter. And then he went on to his next fight. Barao seemed to struggle a little bit. He seemed a little hesitant. He was waiting for the counters to come his way too much. And counter strikers, if they're aggressive with the counters, it can work. But if they stall and wait for their opponent to miss shots for them to counter, it could be a long night. And next thing you know, you're down on the scorecards because your opponent's being more aggressive and he's moving you backwards. And he might have landed 1 or 2 punches more. So I think mental game, Dillashaw has it. He has that mental game over Barao. Barao will be thinking about that last fight he had with Dillashaw. And I think Dillashaw gets it done a little earlier than the last time. I think he gets it done 4th round, KO/TKO finish. It doesn't go to the 5th round. I don't think this will go to the 5th round. It's just like, I feel like Barao, if he's hungry for the belt, he could easily win this belt back. But I think that hunger and that passion, just something happened mentally with him, and that's what messed things up for him. So I'm picking Dillashaw. I think he's confident, he believes he can win this fight, and he will win this fight. I like both these guys, but Dillashaw right now, he's on a tear, and the way he walked right through Joe Soto, that's what he should have done in theory, according to Vegas odds and everything and all the critics. So I think there's a lot of hype with Dillashaw right now, and he's living up to the hype. So I got Dillashaw winning this fight, 4th round stoppage, knockout. There you have it. There's my predictions. Stay tuned for my next episode, which will be a post-fight episode for UFC on Fox, Dillashaw vs. Barao 2. Until then, see ya.